Hi fellow XP flight simmers. Today we're going to show you a program I think is absolutely brilliant to use, very quick and intuitive, and no complicated settings or anything else. It's called XPFlightPlanner. You can download it here at www.xpflightplanner.com. You can get it from the org, and there's a few other sites I've seen it on as well. When you first install it, you will have to restart the program first, and then it will bring up a page like this, and it says buy or continue. If you buy, you'll get a page like this with the currency and the cost per unit you buy. If you press continue, you will get the free version, which will only allow you 5 waypoints in the flight plan. But in my presentation, we're going to continue with the purchased version. So if I just press continue there, at the moment you can see I've got all the airstrips and airports up in my general area. We'll continue with the paid version in just a minute. Before we go any further, I just thought I'd mention to you, just as a disclaimer, that I have no affiliation or agreement with XPFlightPlanner, and they did not sponsor me for this video. The flight charts used by XPFlightPlanner are taken from Air Services Australia. For the rest of the world, I have no idea. You can download the flight charts for free on XPFlightPlanner website and use them for nothing. Before I go into the finer detail of this program, I just want to quickly show you an international flight. At the moment we're at London Heathrow Airport, and I'll just zoom out. If I double click on it and I'll zoom out, and let's say we want to do a flight, say to Rome, we'll just find it here. It's about there. We'll just zoom in and see if we can just find Rome. I'm either blind or I think it's there. No, where are we here? Wherever I want to go somewhere, I can't find it. Okay. No. There it is up here. Is it? There it is, Leonardo da Vinci International. Now if I double click on that one, and suddenly it's produced a flight path. Just straight line flight path. But if I go to up here, and if I just click on this and go generate, we'll just show you what happens. Just waiting. Now you don't necessarily have to use the flight path that it generates, but you can modify it. Okay, there it is there, and there's your flight path. So that's just a quick international flight. After this we'll go to a domestic flight, and we'll do a low level and a high level flight using their low and high level flight vectors, and you'll see the finer points when I show you. Okay, I'm going to start off with just showing you how to do a low-level flight plan in XPFlightPlanner. So up the top in the right hand corner, put in your start point for your flight plan. So we're going to go YBSU, and you hit enter, and it's found it. And then on the right hand side, you see it there, you right click on that and you go start with YBSU. Then you enter your end place, which is YBCG, hit enter, and it brings it down to where you're finishing. Now you right click on that and you go end with YBCG, and it creates a straight line. And so the next thing you do is either up here, or if I just bring this up, or the same thing is down there, but we'll do it up here just, and it's a flight generator. So as you can see there, it's adding a star, and we don't want a star at this stage, so I'm going to show you how to delete that later on. And we're going to go to flight level 5,000 feet. So okay, 5,000 feet, and we're going to go cruise, we'll just say 90 knots. Okay, there's 90 knots there, and we want low level, so we use this one here. Any navigation, you got a choice of high level, low level, or ignore any of them, or no preference. So I'll just give low level, and I will hit, and now there was something I had to show you here. Oh, we need to change the aircraft to a Cessna 172, which is there, and we'll leave the load factor at 85%, which gives me 3 passengers and some kilos of luggage. So if I hit generate, now then I'll go close, and you see it has generated a flight plan. But there's several things wrong with this flight plan, so then I will right click on that, and I will go, I'll find it here, remove waypoint, and I'll add this one to it. So add waypoint, and I'll add this one to it. You right click on it, and I'll go add there, and I'll right click on that, and I will go add there. Now first off, we'll add a SID here. So YBSU, if you go down here, and it has SIDs and stars, and it will give you the best options. At the moment I want to use Malula 02, so if I click on that, and it gives you for runway 13 and runway 13 and runway 31. I don't want that one, so if I highlight that, and if I go hide runway 13, and so it's just left with that one. Now if I highlight this one and right click, and I got insert transition, there you go, it's just added the SID to the flight plan. So we don't want this here like this, so if I go down here and go remove waypoint, but that takes us direct, but we want to do an approach from the south to runway 32. So there's several things we need to do. The first off, if we come up here and you see down the bottom here, it hasn't got it because I've removed it, but I'll show you again. If I go right click on that, and if I go runway 32, so it knows I want runway 32, and if I right click on that again, and if I go, we'll just add the star to it. See, show LAMS 3A. So if I add that, and there's the star. Now the same thing happens what we did when we with the SID. We don't want this one, so what we do is we go hide runway 14 and we highlight that, and we go where is it, show transitions. Okay, I've done that wrong, haven't I? Okay, let's remove that again. Hide runway 14, and if I go show only 32, now if I click on that and if I go insert transition, now if you look, see what it's done, it's put the star in here, but I don't want a star. I just want to do a basic visual with a flight plan into runway 32. Now down the bottom here it has the waypoint of LAMSI, and I don't want that. Now if I try to delete each one of these, when I do the flight path, it's going to mess up everything here. It just doesn't want to see that. So what you do is you right click on that, and if you go remove waypoint again, okay, it's removed it, it's brought it closer, but that's still showing. Now if I right click on this again, and if I go where is it, move up or down, show insert transition, remove air, remove that. Now it's back to there, but you've still got that. As long as you don't have any star down the bottom here, if you zoom in closer now, see how it's brought up all the points. Now if I go closer again, if I go say if I go right click on that, and if I go add to the route, now if you look at that, you see it's still not right. So just wait on. So if I click on that, and if I go where is it, add to the route, so now we've got rid of the star, but we've got a lower level and a closer. See, that's where the actual star came to, but now we've got it to here. If you didn't remove it down here, when you go and install it on your flight plan, it will come back around, will come around here, remove that and loop it. It will do a funny thing. So you have to make sure that you remove the star from the bottom of this panel here. if you want it further in. So there's our basic flight plan for a Cessna 172 from YBSU to YBSU runway 31 to YBCG runway 32. And so now what you do is you can go up here and you can go export flight plan 2. So we'll just wait for it to come up, and if you look at it here, if we go to we're in X plane 12 now, so we're looking down to, oh, I've done something wrong here. We're looking down to output, and we're looking down to FMS plans, and there's all the plans that I have. Now I've already saved this plan, and how I number them is, you see I've got YBSU, YBCG, runway 31, C172, runway 32, and this is my fourth plan of that. So I know that's the plan that I'm using because that's the one I've currently used. So that's how I save it. So I know it's the runway, the aircraft, and the runway. So I'll just cancel that because I've already got it there. So that just gives you an idea of how to do the flight plans in for a low level in X-Plane Flight Planner or XP Flight Planner. It's a brilliant little program, so easy to use. I just love it, and yet the cost is only once, and you only need the Navigraph once in a blue moon if you're going to fly online to get the updated AX cycle. See down the bottom here, the AX cycle is 2510, which is year 2025 in November. So that's the latest one that I'm using now. And but you only need to go in there once a year to do it. I'll show you where the weather is and everything else later on. Okay, I'll just show you now down the bottom here. You saw me get rid of the star down the bottom. There's your SIDS there. Now down the bottom here you have, this is the table, which is your flight plan, and at the very bottom it's got no star. You want to make sure, if you don't want to use a star, that it's got no star right there. Now you've got a flight profile here. There's my flight profile. I'm climbing up to 5,000 feet and then descending again, and it's got 12 waypoints, a distance of 165 nautical miles, and the duration in the Cessna 172 at between 90 and 100 knots is 1 hour and 27 minutes. So there's your flight profile, and I don't know why maybe I didn't select the height. See how it's got flight level 120? Maybe I didn't select that properly. So I'll just see if I can just change that. Okay, I've just learned how to change that. If you go up here and it's got, where is it? Flight information. You click on that and it gives you the date, the company, the sequence, if you need one. But I came down here, it was on the Cessna 172, but it was on flight level, I can't remember what it was now. Anyway, if you just tab down, now we wanted 5,000 feet, so I did that, and I set it for 190, and it's really set for 115. But anyway, I just closed that and it changed it, but it left this spike here. So I don't know what that is, what that's about. Something I have to find out what's happening. But there's the flight profile there and your descent there. Now if you go to fuel, if you look at the bottom here, you'll see the amount of fuel that you start, the amount of fuel that you finish with, and the payload. So the payload's 332 pounds. But you'll find that's different when you print it out. Now if you go to briefing, it brings up all the information on that flight plan that you need. So if I just scroll up and down, everything is there that you need. Now you can print that out, and I've prepared one earlier and printed it out so you can see it. So we'll just bring that back down to there, and this is, I saved it as a PDF. I usually save the flight plans as a PDF and put them in Avitab. So let's go through this. The total distance is 165 nautical miles, a Cessna 172, and it cruised at flight level 50, which is 5,000 feet. Okay, total duration 1 hour and 27 minutes, and the time, at the time I did this, as the UTS time. So anyway, we'll go down here further. There's your flight plan there. Now the first thing off at YBSU, you're at 14 feet, and there's your climb rate at 90 knots. Okay, so you're climbing at 396 feet at 90 knots, and you have 43 gallons of fuel. Now that's US gallons, don't forget, not imperial gallons. So as you progress along your flight plan, you see going from 43 gallons to 41 gallons to 40 gallons to 39 gallons. So you can see that you are using your fuel, and you can calculate at what rate if you feel so inspired. Now down the bottom here, you see it's got flight level 50 after you reach, that's top of descent right there. Well, no, that's not top of descent, that's top of climb. And for some reason, that's that spike. It goes up and it climbs to flight level 80, and then it drops down. If you climb there, you'll reach flight level 50. So I don't know why it's put that spike in, but there it is. Now this arrow here is your top of descent. See, flight level 50, and after you reach that point, if you descend at 200 feet a minute, you should be right until you reach the next waypoint, which is fuel, and here it's got flight level 4,200 feet, and then you've got to descend 515 feet a minute to reach that point. Now down here you see that the speeds, it's got 120 knots, 110 knots, and 65 knots on your approach. So that'll give you an idea how your flight is going as well. And there's your gallons left over. I don't know why it's got two 18s here. It's miscalculated that wrong. But I've done some calculations, and you should have 17 US gallons left in your tank as reserve. And there it is down the bottom there. 17 US gallons in reserve. Operational total block was 43 gallons. Operational was, you've used up 26 gallons US. And there it is there, en route burn 26 gallons. So now down the bottom here, you have load factor of 85, which is 3 passengers, and they've calculated 3 passengers as 249 pounds, and the cargo is 83 pounds. So your total payload is there. And then your zero fuel weight, your takeoff weight, and your landing weight is there, which you won't need that so much in a Cessna, but you will need that in certain jets. So as I said, I keep this in Avitab, and I can just pull it up and have a look if needed. So everything's there in front of you. You don't need to calculate it out. Okay, now we're going to do a flight plan in an Embraer 190. So the best thing you can do is, if you go File, New, and I don't want to save those changes, so discard that, and we'll do the same thing over again, same flight plan but a higher level. So YBSU, enter, and right click on it and add to start, then YBCG, enter, and right click on it and go end with that. Now if you're in a jet, you could leave it as that, but if you want an interesting flight, I usually just change it a few things. So this time we're going to add the SID and the star, and so what we'll do is I'll just go to flight generator. Now we need to change this now from a Cessna 172 to an Embraer 190, and we're going to knock this down to 20,000 feet, flight level 20. Is it 20? Yeah. Okay, and we're going to airspeed, we're going to knock that down to, actually we want it 290 knots. Okay, and we're going to use high level jet routes, and that's 20,000 feet. Yep. Okay, and then we're going to go generate. Now you can click that off and close it when it generates it. The way I do it, and I've left the load factor at 85% as well. You can change that by clicking more, and I'll just close it now. Now look what it's done now. It's changed the whole flight situation, but I don't want it to go over YBBN, so I will remove waypoint, and I will now put the SID in. So I want to go choose, and I go there, and I want to remove that one. So hide runway run 3, and I highlight that and right click on it and go insert transition. So there's my instrument departure, and down here if I right click on that and go SID and star, I want to go here, and I want to remove this one. So hide runway 14, and I want to highlight that one and go insert transition. There you go. I've just added the SID and the star there, so for high jetway. So that's how easy it is and simple it is to work it all out. Now we come down the bottom here, and there it all is down there. All the information you need is down here. And notice down here now, I've got the star through here. See that? So just if you wanted the star, just make sure the star appears there. So what we'll do now is we'll just go there and we'll go to flight profile, and there's your flight profile there. And so you have 13 waypoints, a distance 196 nautical miles and a duration of 39 minutes. Now see, it's a bit different. It was almost an hour and a half in the Cessna, and it's only 39 minutes in the Embraer 190 jet. So, you know, that's the difference between a jet and a light aircraft. Now we go fuel. There's all your fuel there, what it's calculated out. And you'll need that in the Embraer 190 because it asks you for this, so it works out the V1, V2 and landing rate. And there's your briefing there. And so if I now bring up, I've already printed it out. So there it is there, YBSU to YBCG. Oh, that's the wrong one. Hang on. There it is, 190, Embraer 190. So there's your fuel, and as you notice, it goes down, and you're left with your reserve and how much you've used. And passengers 80, it's got here, there's a calculated weight for your passengers and your cargo, and your zero fuel weight, your takeoff weight, and it's all there straight in front of you on a PDF. And as I said, I saved this in Avitab, which makes it a lot easier to access while you're flying. And yeah, so there you go. Now I have a comparison here. If you just wait 2 seconds, I'll see if I can find the comparison. There it is. There's a comparison between the two flights. I'll just bring that over for you. You can pause this at any time and have a look at it. So there's your comparison between the two flights. There's your low level, your Cessna 172, and there's your high level and your flight plan E190. So that's the star there, and that's without the star there. See the difference? But in a lighter aircraft, you probably want to stay close to the shoreline without being in controlled airspace, and so that's why I've put it out here, because YBBN, it's controlled airspace after a certain height, so you just got to know that. And so we're just flying over the island at 5,000 feet. Now here, this is at 20,000 feet, and so it's slightly different with your star there, and to bring in on runway 32. So I just thought I'd show you that as a comparison. Okay, I've just booted up in the Cessna 172. I'm getting an echo back here, so I'm finding it hard to talk. But anyway, so we're going to I'll go inside the aircraft, and show you how to load the flight plan in the Garmin 1000. So if I just bring that up, okay, we've got the Garmin 1000 up, and if we look here, we've got all these pages here, but we only want the 2 pages. If we select flight plan and then rotate to the next page, so this is where you've loaded all your flight plans into. So what we'll do is we'll just I've messed it up. There up, we go back again, and if I highlight it, and we'll just go down and find the flight plan we want. That's the one we want, and hit enter. Now if I zoom out, there it is there. There's your star, no, your SID, sorry, there's your SID there, and we'll just you have your SIDs and your stars, so there's no, it's all there, and it's just straight loaded. So there's your low level in your Cessna Garmin 1000. Okay, I've just loaded up into the Embraer 190 to show you how to add the flight plan into that. So we'll just go inside, and now it doesn't want to play ball. That's better. So we're now inside, and what we'll do is we'll bring that up and bring the FMS up. Make that larger. Like everything, when you want to show someone something, it doesn't work. So just make that larger so you can see what's going on. Hopefully that makes it a bit better for everyone to see. Okay, I've booted up into X-Plane, into the Embraer 190, and I've set it up here. And so to import it into the Embraer 190, you just hit route, and if you hit route again, and you hit flight list, and we need to tab down, so next page, Okay, we're looking for Cessna 1, 2, the next page. Okay, there it is there. YBSU, YBCG, runway 31, Embraer 190, runway 32. So we select that and we activate it. And if we look at the charts, I had to swap it around. I brought up the wrong one. So we looked at the charts, go to plan, and you can see it's activated there. And we'll just zoom out a bit. It's not going to play ball now. There you go. The thing is, I don't know why it hasn't brought up the SIDS or the stars, but that's easy done in the Embraer 190. So if we go and put departure, press departure, and if we select the SID, and we select runway 31, we want the SID 31, SID, that's the one we want. You see, it's just added it, and we go apply and activate, and there's the SID. So now we come down to the star, there it is there. So we go arrivals, you go runway 132, arrival, and we want to select the star. We want this one. See, now it's added to it, and if we go apply, activate, and so it's as easy as that to add it to it. Sometimes, for some reason, the SIDS and the stars come up in the plan, and other times they don't. So I just can't work it out why. Maybe I'm doing something wrong. It just doesn't do it sometimes. So anyway, so there you go. That's added to it. Now, okay, I've brought up Avitab, and if we go to charts, and we've got a flight plan image, I've saved it in the images, and we're looking for this one. And so in Avitab, I've saved an image, and there's the flight plan in there. Press the wrong button, so you can see it there. Yeah, so I'll just close that off. If I go back one step, and if I go to flight plan, and I want to go E190, and there's your PDF in Avitab, so you can read that as well. And so anyway, that's just shows you it works. Avitab, and there's your flight plan. There's your top of descent right there, and gives you the rate of descent all the way through to the runway, and it says here you should be doing 131 knots. So what we'll do is I'll just put that out of the way for a second, and we'll bring up the tablet. Okay, I've got Avitab up, and I've brought up the tablet, and we're going to use this information here and enter it in to the tablet. I'll just put the Avitab to one side out of screen, but you see there it's got payload and 0 fuel weight. So what we'll do is I'll select 0 fuel weight first off, and so 0 fuel weight, if I look at it there, it's got 37,498 kilos. Okay, so if I type in there 37,498, and I better check to see if at the moment it's set in pounds, so I better go to the settings and change it to kilos. So units, oh, it is in pounds. Okay, we're changing that to kilos. So if I go back to there, then go back into weight and balance again, and I'll bring up the tablet. Okay, 0 fuel weight is 37,498. 37,498. And if I bring up the fuel weight, where are we here? Okay, fuel weight is 34.13. 34.13. I think I'm reading that right. 34.13. And if I think I hit this one here, and if we enter, request manual load sheet. Okay, there's the manual load sheet. If I go load plane, and if I go takeoff performance, I'll bring up the tablet again. If I go airport, is YBSU. I'll go runway is 31. Oh, didn't. I should have entered the takeoff weight there as well, which. Okay, what have I got here? Snow to burn load factor. Okay, this is calculated. The takeoff weight is 4911, but the load sheet is said the takeoff weight is 4707. So I'll just put that down. 4707. Yeah, just tick that right. Okay, takeoff thrust. We'll set that to T2, and we'll set the flaps to F2 for takeoff. And dry conditions, wind we don't know, temperature we don't know, QNH is 29.92, and wind, well, I'm just looking at my wind chart here. Okay, wind is roughly 7 knots at 50 degrees. Okay, so if we put that down there at 7, and temperature, I have no idea. It's about 26 degrees Fahrenheit, centigrade. So if I go compute now, and there's your V1, V2, V2, VR and VFS. So if I want to do that now, if you look at that, and it's got here, it's Center FMS. So if I press that, now this, I've never been able to get this to work properly. So what we'll do is we'll just enter it manually. What's that? Oh, that's landing. It's got landing. I thought we're doing takeoff. So maybe I've got to do landing performance now. Okay, airport. YBCG, landing weight, I'm just looking at this. Okay, it's telling me the landing weight is 39516. 516. Okay, we're coming in on runway 32, and we're going to use flat 5. The condition is dry. All options, I have no idea what that is. Icing none. Okay, wind's about the same, so we'll just put here 54 at 7, and we put the temperature, say 26 degrees Celsius, and the QNH is, we'll just put 290902 again, and we'll go compute. Must be doing something wrong because it doesn't work. There we go, compute. Okay, it's all worked it out, and so I send to the FMS. So it's not working, so I'll have to calculate it manually. Okay, what have we got? VAC. Okay, to save boring you, I've entered all the particulars for the X-Craft's performance, takeoff and landing performance. I've entered it all in manually, and I'll just bring up, my mouse has disappeared again. I'll bring up Avitab. Now all the details I got came from the bottom of the sheet here, and it's calculated out the takeoff performance and the landing performance. So you can get it all from this here. If you do your flight plan right originally, it's all here and you just add it to it. So what we'll do is I'll just close Avitab down, and I'll close this down as well. As I said, I've entered it all in, and so now we're ready to go. So by theory now it should have worked out, even though it was on the flight plan. Hopefully it will show me on the top of it will show me the top of descent. And sometimes I find it doesn't show me that either, so I have to go off the flight plan itself, and I'm looking for it here. And it's not showing me the top of descent, so I have no idea why, but it's not showing me top of descent. So I'll just make sure everything is ticked. Yep. So I have no idea, unless it's on this one. Might be on the map itself, which I can't step through at this stage. So on the plan it should be, but it's not showing me TOD. But it is showing me on the PDF flight plan that it was printed out, and it does tell you, calculate the rate of descent for you on that flight plan, so there shouldn't be any dramas there. So as you can see, I've got V1, VR, V2 and VFS all added in, and if I go landing, it's all there as well. So there's no problem, and all that came from the sheet. You didn't have to go searching for it, it's all here. So that's how easy it is to use this. As I said, I don't know why it hasn't put the SIDS or stars in, and as I said, I find sometimes it enters them in and sometimes it doesn't in the E190, but it's easy enough to enter in yourself. Okay, we'll just sum up a few of the other features of the XPFlightPlanner. Just to have a look, quick squiz at the jet. The Embraer 190, beautiful little jet, love it. But anyway, that's not what we're here for. If I now go back to here and just sum up a few of the features, if you look, if we zoom out, you'll see it only shows the major airports. If we zoom in, it shows more and more of the minor airports. Now, all these dots here are points that you can use for navigation and use for your planning as well. So that's there. You can turn the airports on and off. You can hide airport grounds, but it's not showing it here. I don't know what that is. There's one or two airport grounds that just flashed on and off. This one here is the NDBs, shows NDBs. If it's got it, you've got to zoom in and out to find it. This one's hide and show VORs. As you can see at Amberley and Brisbane there's a VOR. This one here is hide fixed maps. If you look, see they've all disappeared, those dots. They're fixes that you can use for navigation points. This one here is show the high level jets. This one here is to show the low level flight plans. This one here is to show tracks on map, which is none at this stage. This one here is showing clouds. This one here is showing where rain is. This one here is showing wind. I'll just pull up put a separate one in for that in a minute. Down the bottom, that's hides the bottom pane. The bottom pane has the tables for the flight plan, as your profiles, your fuel, and your briefing. This one here on the side has all the points that you may use or commonly used in the past, and you've got airports, NDBs and VOR DMEs and fixed points you can show as well. So that's it in a nutshell. It is just the simplicity of this is just so good, and it's so easy to use. I love it. Like everyone else, everyone wants a free one and everyone wants it very simple, and so this is once off payment, and then it's very simple to use, and you'll probably end up using it more and more and more. You don't have to remember airport codes, because it shows you the codes here and who they are, so you can just plot your plane out manually or do it automatically. See, as you zoom in, you've got those points, what they call it, tracks on a map. Or you can use all these as navigation points on your flight plane if you want to. So I'm just zooming in and out just to show you. So I hope you enjoy it as much as I do, but just before I close, I'll just show you a quick thing on the cloud, the weather, on a quick video that I've made, and I'll finish on that. Thank you. It's a couple of days later since I've made my first recording, and it's bucketing with rain outside and there's a lot of clouds, so I thought I'd just quickly show you this. I'll just get rid of that panel there. Now if I press the show cloud, if I press that, you see how it's just come up white because it's totally covered in cloud, and I zoom out, you see some are shaded and others aren't, so that'll give you an idea of the cloud. If I turn the cloud off and go show rain, see, it shows you where the heavy rain is on the map, so you can just visually look at it and know what you're flying into. So if I zoom out again, see the rain's all around the southeast Queensland, northern New South Wales at the moment. Oh, it's a bit up the coast as well, but it is absolutely bucketing down outside, so that shows you the cloud. Now if I go wind, you see how it changes colour again. A lot of the wind is offshore, but there's some blowing onshore, so just to let you know and to show you what's going on. Something I didn't share with you was where I got my weather from, So you have the standard option on the menu in X-Plane. So if you just hit the weather, and it shows you everything there that you'll need for your starting airport. Or if you go hit M, which is your default map, it brings you up with some weather options as well. See, it's showing you the direction of the surface wind, or you can have no wind or wind up to any height. And it also shows the clouds, I've just pressed the wrong one, you can see there's a few little storms on the horizon here as well, or you got no clouds. So there's a few of the options that you may want to look at as well for weather. Plus I have a few apps on my phone that I can put in the place and it will bring up the weather. Your main thing you need is the wind direction and the temperature and the QNH. So they're the important things that you need to add, but they're all easy to find. Okay, have a great day everyone.